Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, we're going to be diving into one of my favorite charts of all time, the Wall Street cheat sheet, and analyzing the emotional psychology of the current little mini cycle that we're actually in inside of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been consolidating ever since we topped in our peak at $65,000, and it's following so closely to the Wall Street cheat sheet that I figured now would be a great opportunity to dive in, analyze the emotional psychology of what we're seeing inside of Bitcoin, and explaining why I believe the current move that we're seeing right now on the downside is going to be the last major sell-off and the last good buying opportunity that we get before new all-time highs. The next part of the cycle is going to be the one that we make the most money on, and the current market cycle is showing that this is coming very soon. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and join the Discord server of over 20,000 members growing. Links are in the description for the people that want to sign up and join my community. On top of that, if you want extra educational content to teach you guys more of the basics on how to be profitable trading, I have a link in the description for my free beginners ebook that I know is going to help you guys out tremendously. So go check it out. Links are provided for you in the description. And with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so here we are taking a look at Bitcoin over the last 24 hours, and really I think since this morning, what we had was some recent news that came out that supposedly Walmart partnered with Litecoin and they were going to start accepting Litecoin payments. I even think Litecoin themselves posted about this, but Walmart came out, debunked this rumor, and then the market sold off. And so what we saw over the last little while was really some major volatility that kind of set in. If you guys notice this big wick up here, this was because of that FUD. Everybody said that there was a rumor that Walmart partnered with Litecoin and they were going to accept Litecoin payments. Walmart came out and debunked this rumor, and then the price dropped back down. And so overall, you know, this has been kind of a volatile day, but on the shorter time frames, this is literally just chop. We're going to have to continue to see what's going to happen, but this isn't really what I want to talk about today. I didn't care so much about the shorter time frames. Wanted to summarize some thoughts on this little cycle that we're seeing right here. Ever since the run from about $10,000 all the way up to $65,000, and then this crash and consolidation that we've been in ever since is following the Wall Street cheat sheet so closely that I figured now would be a good opportunity to actually analyze the emotional psychology of where we're sitting today. So this is the chart that I wanted to share with you guys. This is called the Wall Street cheat sheet. Now, for you guys that maybe can't actually see what this is, we're going to pull it up right here. To summarize it simply, the Wall Street cheat sheet is an analyzation of the emotions that the average person feels inside of investing into a market. And I'm sure that you guys can relate. You guys put your hard-earned money on the line with the hopes of making a bigger return, right? Everybody wants to make money when they invest it. But sometimes that's not always the case. Sometimes you invest money and then you lose it. And when you actually have money on the line, you feel an emotional charge. You feel the ups and the downs of the market. And when you're an actual profitable trader that's been around the cycles, that's actually done this for a long time, you have a trading plan that literally just mitigates all emotion. You have this set trading plan that you have this exact same thing that you look for every single time. When that parameters are met, you take the entry, and you know, if you're proven wrong, you get out. If you're proven right, you make a little bit of a gain and then you get out either way. But there's really no emotion involved. And the best traders are the ones that can actually minimize all emotion when it comes to trading. Now, crypto is very emotional, and that's why we see such big run-ups in price. It's all emotional based. And this chart itself actually analyzes the average person's emotions when it comes inside of a market cycle. So a market cycle, simply put, is when you get this big rally in price, you get the top, and then we start the crash back down. It crashes all the way down, kind of goes sideways for a little while, and then we start the same thing over again. And this is actually something that we've seen play out with Bitcoin a number of different times. This is just your classic example of a market cycle. You get the big run up, you get the crash, back down, kind of go sideways for a little while, and then we start a new one over again. Start the next cycle. Big run up, get the top, we crash, then we kind of go sideways, and then we start another new cycle. And this is what takes us to the most recent one that we've been in, right? We had that 2017 run up, Bitcoin topped at 20,000. We crashed back down to 3,200, kind of chopped sideways for a bit, and then we go up and start a brand new cycle. And we're still currently inside of this cycle as it stands today. And so I wanted to analyze this current move that we're seeing right now and really share with you guys the emotions that play out and why I believe that we're going to be seeing this thing go into new all-time highs very soon. So if we come back over here to my Photoshop chart, we're just simply going to zoom in on this most recent move. And we're going to analyze the emotions inside of this Wall Street cheat sheet. So it's going to be a little bit hard for some of you guys to see, but nonetheless, I'm going to be able to map out the emotions for you so you don't necessarily need to. So at the very beginning of the cycle, you get what's called the disbelief phase. And the disbelief phase repeats at the end of the big crash, right? So if you can see it right here, this is the disbelief phase. And this is the disbelief phase. The disbelief phase is literally what starts the market cycle. It's generally speaking where you get the first higher high in the new bull trend, and it's right after a massive crash. So in this case, notice how we get this big sell-off, and we kind of just go sideways for a little while. And then it's this first little impulse up here that is called the disbelief phase. It's the first higher high in the new bull trend. And the reason it's called the disbelief phase is because in that first higher high, nobody actually expects that the bull market's going to be happening. Everybody's still bearish. Everybody's still targeting new lows. And if we actually analyze what that was on the Bitcoin chart, it was simply put this move right here. So remember, the disbelief phase is the first higher high in the new bull trend. This was the big rally up. This is the crash, right? And then this is the first higher high. It was in this move here, up to 14K and back down to 3,800, the first higher high. And I remember seeing so many people calling for a new low. Everybody calling that Bitcoin was going to go to $1,000, $1,200. That was the big thing. Nobody actually thought that Bitcoin was going to be breaking all-time highs. And if you were to able to analyze the emotional psychology of a market cycle, you would have been able to know early on that yes, this is just the very beginning. This is just the disbelief phase where nobody actually thinks that the market's going to be going up again, because this is only the first higher high that we've ever made after such a big crash. People have PTSD from going through that big crash. People know that their portfolio evaporated by 80 to 90% when this happened. And so when you get that first higher high and then it starts going back down again, everybody just thinks that, oh, bull market's over. We're never going to have another one. We're going to need years and years worth of consolidation. Or some people even thought that Bitcoin was going to go to $1,000 and make another new all-time low. A lot of really good traders even thought this. And so the emotions inside of a market cycle are meant to chop you up. They're meant to deceive you, and that's when the best opportunities are to actually come back in and buy. And so right here, that's what's known as the disbelief phase. It's the first higher high. So right here inside of the most recent run up that we saw for Bitcoin, this was when Bitcoin was at 10K. It rallied all the way up to 65,000 right here. And then this is the current move that we're in today. Right here is what I would call the disbelief phase. And you could really even draw it a little bit shorter on the chart down here. Really right down here at about $10,000, because this right here is $20,000. This was when we broke out of the all-time highs. You could technically label the disbelief even lower down here. But that's what takes us to this hope phase, right? Hope is when people start to get optimistic. And I think that that's somewhere right around this move right here. When we broke the all-time highs, people started getting optimistic. They started feeling hopeful. They started thinking, oh man, this is actually going to be taking off. This just made another new all-time high. Time to start getting more invested and pay attention to what's taking place. And so this is kind of the hope phase right here, right when we start breaking the all-time highs. And then notice we get this big run up in price after that breakout. This is what I would call optimism. Optimism is when people genuinely start to feel optimistic, obviously, that the market's going to keep going up. They start actually getting investments. They start saying, oh my gosh, I didn't buy earlier. I need to start getting in. And they start feeling like they're getting left out a little bit. And so this is what's known as optimism. Now, after that, we start going into the final rally, which is going to be taking us into belief. This is when people start getting even more invested. This is when they start taking more positions. And this, in my opinion, would be belief right here. This next big run up. And then we start getting thrill. This is when people start taking leverage positions. This is when they start getting over leveraged, taking too many positions than they're willing to lose. So in this case, one of the golden rules of crypto and investing in general is only invest what you're willing to lose. In the thrill phase of a market cycle, people are seeing everybody around them make money, and they're also making money from the positions that they accumulated back down in here between hope and optimism. And so by the time thrill rolls around, they're starting to take out more positions than they're actually comfortable with losing. If that market would have dipped at that moment, they would have had so many positions that as it's dipping, they would have started to feel a lot of anxiety because they actually invested more than they were willing to lose. Now, a lot of people will invest more than they're willing to lose, and they won't even realize it until the market starts going down. And then they realize, oh man, I'm losing way too much. I just have all of this money that I still need to pay off with my debt, with my house. I don't have enough money saved, and I invested it all at the top, right? These are the sort of things that people end up doing at the top of the cycle. And then I would actually call thrill about right here. It's a weird looking T. Thrill. And then euphoria is where the final blow-off top takes place. It's the final rally in that cycle. The emotions that are actually felt and what it says on this chart. I am a genius. We're all going to be rich, right? This is when even the most novice of people that have no idea how to trade, they have no idea anything about investing, and they're making money. This is what's known as euphoria because they feel like geniuses. The market's constantly proving them right. And when Bitcoin went from $10,000 to $65,000, there was pretty much no pullbacks in here. Little ones, but it always went back up again. And so this is where I would call euphoria. Right up here at this little top, right at 65,000, right? And so this is actually what starts the down market, right? Eventually the buyers can no longer keep up the price, the sellers become too great, and then we start a bear market decline. And that's what's known as complacency. So complacency is this first lower high in the new bear trend, right? So in a bull market, you're making higher highs and higher lows like this. In a bear market, you're making lower highs and lower lows like this, right? And so this is a higher high. Well, this is a higher high. This is a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? That's what a bull market consists of. Now, this is where we get the reverse of that. This is where we start the bearish decline, which means this top to the first lower high of the bear market is called complacency. This is when people are convincing themselves, oh, well, this is just like all of the others. It's going to dip like this, and it's going to go back up again. It's going to dip like this and go back up again. Dip like this and go back up again, right? Because that's what they've been accustomed to seeing. The market will dip, and then it'll immediately go back up again because that's what a bull market is, higher highs and higher lows. But in this case, complacency, we get that dip, but we don't go back up again. This is actually the first lower high, and so this is complacency. This is where people think it's going to go up higher, but it actually is the first lower high before we make a big drop in price, right? So this is where we get the big drop. Some of the emotions that are felt inside of there are anxiety, which I would consider anxiety right around there. Denial. My investments are with a good company. It'll be okay. I'll just hold. I'll just wait for it, and it'll go back up again. And then you start getting stuff like that. Denial here. And then you get panic. Shit, everyone is selling. I need to get out, right? As the market's really starting to tank really quickly. And then we get capitulation. I am getting out 100%. I can't afford to take any more losses. And that's always right here at the bottom. So complacency, and then, capitulation takes place right here. See this massive wick that comes down? This is where you get capitulation. The market's taking really, really fast. Everybody's trying to get out at the same time. You get these massive sell-offs that are coming in here. And that's what takes us to right here, capitulation. So this is where we start getting some other this is where we start transitioning our emotions. Once they've actually panic sold, this is where we get anger. Who shorted the market? Why did the government allow this to happen, right? So this is going to be anger right here. And then we get one more emotion called depression right here. Depression takes place right over here after the market's chopped at these lows, and then we start going down again, and then people are depressed. Not only have they lost all of their money, they panic sold the bottom, so there's no getting it back, and then the market continues to go lower, and they're just sick of it. They're fed up, and then this is ultimately what ends that move. This is what ends the bear market, right? And then we start getting the first higher highs in that new bull trend. In case you guys have missed it, that was actually where Bitcoin bottomed at 29,000 right here. And then we bounced all the way up to about 50K right here. So this entire move that we've been seeing in Bitcoin from 29K to 50K and this current little correction that we're seeing right now, this is what I believe is the disbelief phase. This is where the new bull run starts, which if you guys remember, the disbelief phase happens right here and it happens right here. So let's clear up all of these right here. You guys can go back and screenshot it if you feel the need to. And let's just clear up this chart so it's a little bit easier to see. So we've analyzed the emotions inside of this chart. We know exactly where all of the bullish emotions were up throughout here. We've analyzed the bearish ones back down. We know that this chart right here, this Wall Street cheat sheet, looks a lot like the current cycle that we're seeing. Notice this move right here. First lower high, the sharp crash. We kind of chop right here, make this little W, and then we go for one more low, right? This pattern right here looks so much the same as this. Sharp crash, little W, and then we go for one more low. This is almost the exact same chart in so many different ways. And that's why I love market cycles, is because you guys are going to be able to analyze these emotions not only within yourself, but you're going to be able to see them happening live on a price chart. And this is nothing out of the ordinary. This is what we see oftentimes because a market is simply just humans investing. They're emotional creatures investing their money, which causes them to be emotional in general. I always tell you guys, there was some quote that I don't remember who said it, but out of the 100% of people that invest in a financial market, only 10% of them will be profitable, meaning 90% of people investing are losing money. So the reason they're losing money is because of these emotions. The average person is buying when the prices are going up, and they're selling when the prices are going down, which, if you guys know, obviously you should be buying when the prices are going down and selling when the prices are going up. You need to revert your psychology to do the opposite of what the average person is doing inside the market. That's the only way you're actually going to be profitable. And so this entire move from 29K here up to 50K here, and this current little consolidation that we're in today, this is the disbelief phase. This is the first higher high in the new bull market before we ultimately start this brand new cycle over again. Remember, disbelief phase here, and that's what starts the bull run, and then disbelief phase here after the crash, because this is where we're about to get a brand new bull run, right? Same thing over again. This is how cycles work. And if you understand market cycles, you're simply going to be way more profitable than the rest of the group out there that you're counter trading against. And it's really easy, guys. You simply just buy when the market starts going down. There's nothing more to it than that. And so guys, you can go back, you can back test this exact same thing. We've seen it on a number of different assets. We've seen it on Ethereum. If we go back to Ethereum, this is when I was accumulating Ethereum heavy. All the way back in the last cycle, we see the exact same thing again. The big rally up, the sharp crash, the sideways accumulation. And then what happens? Well, we start it all over again. Where was the disbelief phase? Here. Do you guys spot it? The disbelief phase was right here. This move here, where you make this sideways action. Everybody's bearish. Everybody thinks it's just going to keep going lower into no man's land. And then you start impulsing. And you make that first major impulse here, right? And then that's what takes us into the new cycle. We can see this replicated on a number of different assets. We've seen it play out with Bitcoin for years and years and years at this point, guys. Where was the disbelief phase? Well, right here. This move here. Disbelief after the big crash right there. Same thing happened over here. The disbelief phase is a little bit harder to see because it kind of happened in two different places here. But we have the crash. We go sideways for almost a year. And then this could have been disbelief. This could have been disbelief, and then after that point, we started taking off, right? So guys, this is something you're going to be able to spot on a number of different assets, on a number of different time frames. It's a universal principle that we've been able to see, and it's happening right now on the shorter time frames in the current consolidation that we're in. And this is why I definitely believe we're about to see this thing go up a lot more from here. Wherever this consolidation takes us, I believe this is going to be taking us into new all-time highs. We're going to see a massive rally up to close out the end of the year, the end of the cycle, the blow off top, and then we'll start a brand new one of these, right? The big bear market, the big crash that everybody's worried about. This is the way cycles go. And if you guys understand the emotions with it, you're going to get out at the right time, and you're going to be able to get in at the right time to accumulate and compound those gains long term. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you found value in this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos. You guys can join the Discord server by finding the links in the description, along with my free ebook and beginner's guide to crypto. You guys can also sign up for my video course Signals and beginner course bundle, all for the same low rate, over 50% off. If you guys want to get into this, there's only about 2 more weeks left until I'm going to be closing off the ability for that. So if you guys want to get into my group at the biggest discount I'm ever going to be doing on this channel, now is the opportunity of doing it. Not only are you going to be able to nail a lot of profitable signals over the next 4 months, but you're going to know exactly when I'm taking profits, what time frames I'm taking profits by, how much profits I'm taking, and what I'm going to be doing with that profit aside from crypto. If you're interested in stocks, if you're interested in commodities, if you're interested in any of these things, you're going to know exactly how I'm diversifying my funds, which is going to be the most important thing on how to continue to make more gains long term. So if you guys want to check that out, links are in the description. I look forward to seeing you guys inside of that group. Thank you guys so much for watching, and with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.